close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports, and today is the day. We are finally doing the torture test on these Maxpeeding rods, fully adjustable coilover suspension on this E36. If we don't break it today, you're probably good to go. So we're going to be actually putting this through its paces. We're going to be trying to bust this suspension today, and I know the car doesn't weigh as much as other cars do. Your daily driver, I'm sure, weighs more than this car does, but we are going to be maybe getting a little bit of air, a lot of dirt roads, lots of really big bumps. So we actually have some footage up here originally before we swapped the suspension. That suspension was basically stock. There were some pieces that had been replaced, but now we have the full coilover install done, and we're ready to put it through its paces. For example, to explain kind of roughly how difficult this road is going to be on this car, the suspension that was on here actually had pieces blown out in the back because of a road just like this, and we're going to be driving this way more aggressively now that the car can actually handle it. It rides much more smooth, much more flat, and it's not nearly as loose as it used to be. One of the things that we've had to do is play with the dampening a little bit. You might have to do that on your car, but that's all just suspension tuning. That's nothing special or particular to these coilovers themselves. So the link to everything we'll be using in today's video will be linked in the description below. Use code TENZA for a discount, and follow us on Instagram, which will also be linked in the description, Tenza_motorsports. Enjoy the original suspension footage as a control. And one thing I want to point out before you do that is that the road has changed slightly because we did have a bunch of trees laying over, and somebody has come through and cleaned it up since then. But this should be a really good control video for us. While you're enjoying that footage, we're going to get started on this and see if we can't break these Maxpeeding rod coilovers.
Found an abandoned road. It's between two roads that nobody drives on unless they're going to the middle of nowhere to hunt. So there's a location that people drive from to another location that people drive from, and there is a 75-mile-an-hour highway between them. The road that we showed you previously that hasn't had maintenance for 75 to 100 years goes around the other direction through the mountains to get to those same places. So everybody goes the other way. And then on the other end of this road is a maintenance trail for a power line, which nobody goes on either. And in the middle is this road. Basically, this road is not perfect, but it's 99% pristine. But it's out in the middle of nowhere, and the two roads that access it, the only two roads that access it, are horrible and no travel. So, talked to some people. We got it shut down a little bit. We got some permissions, and here we are. So, we've got a corner up here that we're going to hit really hard with the car. I'm going to push it as hard as I can. I'm going to do a bunch of different runs, and we're going to have inside the car view, we're going to have from the front bumper mount, and we're going to have somebody off the road. And that way we can get a good view of the suspension from those three angles. And then when we do the swap over to the other suspension, we'll come back out here and we'll do it again and get the same angles from the same places, so that we can kind of do an apples to apples comparison. The only thing we'll be changing is the suspension system.
Well, everybody, pretty crazy driving here. We got to do some dirt road. Unfortunately, with the dirt road section of the coilovers, my GoPro died on us, and the camera that we're using right now isn't very good for handheld. You'll see some of that footage here. I was trying to handhold it, and we're running low on battery on that camera. So unfortunately, we didn't get a ton of the dirt road stuff, but we did get some. We were able to see it side by side. I obviously haven't seen the footage side by side clearly because I'm not editing the video yet, but this right off the bat has already been so much better. It doesn't body roll nearly as much. It does do a little bit of push understeer, but that's not really abnormal for a car that's weighted like this, where we've got the engine, the front and the back's all stripped out. The overall car with the suspension on has been absolutely fantastic. We absolutely recommend this brand. We absolutely recommend the suspension. If you're interested in the suspension for yourself, again, the link to that will be in the description below. Thanks everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's content, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports, and use that link. If you're gonna buy this suspension, use my link down in the description below, code Tenza for a discount. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!